Yes, unfortunately, the video of this very important site, very important Bible code table was not clearly came out. So let us now do it again and hoping that now it will be better. Very, very important. This is from torahcode.us, Professor Robert HARALICK sign. And this is also the site that we did a lot of tables together. So what you see here is the beginning of Torah codes. So the earliest written reference to equivalence letters key sequence is in comment made by Rabbeinu Bachye. Rabbeinu Bachye lived in Spain in the mid-13th century. In his discussion of the first verse in Genesis, he writes a cryptic footnote. This is what he writes: if the eyes of your heart will be illuminated, you will find here precisely the code number that I mentioned above. This was really, we see just now what was the code above. It is encoded into the text in such a way that between each of its four letters lie 42 intervening letters. By the way, 42, people know this is the name of God, Ana B'choach. We say it, some say every day, some say Friday night, davening. And 42 is the name of God, Ana B'choach, with which the world was created. Also, 42 are the letter Mem Bet, which is Maaseh Bereshit, the deed of the creation. So, in this sequence of letters, so says Rabbeinu Bachye, the wise will understand that this is not by chance, but a clear sign involving the very birth of the world, which is, just as we see, this is really the birth of the moon. So the footnote is with respect to a remark made in his commentary about four letters, Be'arad. By the way, this anybody who have today, we have Rabbeinu Bachye in English, definitely in Hebrew. So one can see it right in the first chapter in his commentary, what you see here. So we speak about the four letters Bet, A, Resh, Daled, from the Aleph Bet, which are abbreviation, as you see just now, indicating, better to say, to numbers. What it means in this remark is that from the first bet of Bereshit, which is the first letter in the Torah, Bereshit, the beginning bet of Genesis, and skipping 42 letters, there is a. So if you carry on, Bereshit bara, Elokim, so then you come to the letter Hey, and skipping other 42 letters, there is a Resh. And skipping other 42 letters, there is a Daled. Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim v'et haaretz, and so on. Every 42 letters, you have the four letters, Bet, A, Resh, Daled. And he says this is a secret of the birth of the moon, the birth of the world, being reference to the birth of the moon, goes together. Now, the explanation in this table. So, Ba'arad, what are these four letters? Bet, A, Resh, Daled. So, Bet in Hebrew, in Gematria is 2, indicates the second day, Monday. Then comes the hour in the day, which is the fifth one. Hey, fifth. Then we know that at that time was not 60 seconds. At that time they reckon 1,080, because it's a number which can be divided almost in every number. So it was 8,080, and these were 2 or 4, I mean 204 parts of this number. Then you have the word Bereshit, is beginning. Then you have the Hebrew word molad, which is the birth, and then Ayareach, then the moon. So this is what you see in this table, coming here. You see here, beginning of the Torah, Bereshit bara Elokim Bet. Then, as we said, counting, you see in each line here, you have 42 letters. So The other letter after 42 letters is Resh. Then afterwards, after the A comes the Resh, and then the Dalet. Ba'arad, as we said, yeah, all this what you see here. So it means that the Torah is divided letter by letter into 42 letters in the line so that you will be able to read it. You can read it, Beit A Resh Dalet. And here is the word Molad, birth, and this is Hayareach, the moon. So this is what you see in the table, and this is what is written. Table showing the Barad, that means the 4 letters, ELS, equal letter sequence, with skip of 42 at the beginning of Genesis. The cylinder size is 42, as it says 42 letters in a line, and there also appears ELS of the verse beginning, like exactly Bereshit and birth and Molad of the moon. So this is a table which Rabbeinu Bachye brings about 800 years ago, yeah, and clearly saying that the idea that we got from tradition from Sinai comes out in Bible code of 42 letters, and 42 also have significant, as we have to know that also skip of letters very often has important teaching. So now it's in teaching that the word was created with 42 letters, and Abachoach, the name of God, and the birth of the moon comes on the same count. So let us see now more what is written about it. Now this Professor HARALICK explains it. It means how it comes practically. It means the time, exactly the time. So this is what he writes down here. That in the oral tradition, in an ancient book, Sodai Bur, which is called in English, the Secret of the Reapers, yeah, it is written that the first new moon occurred at hour 14 of day 6. It means the 14th hour on the 6th day, Friday. The counting of the hours normally begins at 6 p.m., yeah, because this is now with the change, with the change of the orbit of everything. But at that time, 6 o'clock p.m. was really the beginning of the day, because we know quite well that, in fact, the Jewish day starts from the night, yeah, then goes into the day. So then, according to this, the previous night, as we said, the beginning, which is the beginning of the next day, and hour 14 of day 6 is 8 a.m., because 6 from 6 is 12, and 6 till 8 is 14 is 8 a.m., the morning of day 6. The meaning of the Barad can be understood by its gematria, as we said. 4 is, Dalet is 4, and Resh is 200, and A 5, and Bet 2. It means day 2, the second day, the 5th hours, and 2 of parts of the hour. In the old tradition, is thought that it arose in the mind of God one primordial year, which is the 12th lunar month, prior to creation, to create the world. So one lunar year prior to the first new moon occurred on day 2, the second day, the 5th hour, plus 2 or 4 parts of this hour. From this knowledge, and knowing that the average length of the lunar cycle is just over 29.5 days, it is possible to compute the average length of the lunar cycle that has been taught in the Jewish tradition from the time of Mount Sinai. Here is how the calculation goes. So multiply the turn stated 29.5 days per lunar month by 12 to get 354 days per lunar year. Since 350 is 70 divisible by 7, stating from day to hour, fifth hour plus 2 of 4 parts of the hour, and going for 350 days brings us to 14 in the day which is a 8 point, it is the hour, 8.8111 hours, or 3.3671296 days. One lunar year is then 354.3671296 days. Divide this by 12, and we obtain the length of the lunar cycle as taught in the Jewish oral tradition since the time of Mount Sinai. This is what we got here, which is 354.3671296 by 12, which is 29.530594. Of all the ancient cultures which generally held lunar cycle to be 29.53 days, then 29.530594 days was most accurate. NASA, the NASA, National American, is in 1996 by satellite observation plugged into celestial mechanics, mathematics, improve this to 29.530588 days. The difference between what the Jewish people knew a long time ago, 29.53094 days, and 29.53058 days is about 0.5 seconds. So, clearly, what comes out for is that this, in fact, every month, in synagogue, before the beginning of the new month, before Rosh Chodesh, they say the birth of the moon this month will be so and so, and based on these calculations that the Jews knew for many years. Rab Chaim Michael Dov Weismandal, this is what he saw in Rabbeinu Bechai, in fact, this was changing. So the Chemed, working about compute during the 1940s and 1950s, students in the book Torah Chemed brought it after his death. So very, very important Bible code 800 years ago. And one should know that the idea of Bible code in the Torah, it is all known thing, that it is one of the ways that the Torah is taught, and this is what Rabbi Alafia brings Rokeach many years ago, and Ramoshe Cordovero, of the Rabbi Isaac Luyas, Kabbalah. So it is famous idea that the Torah was a blueprint of creation, only the 5 books of Moses, and therefore everything which is happening in the world is there. So this is really very, very interesting, as we said, as this is really the beginning of the Torah code, the first Bible code, and Rabbi Weismandal saw it, and he understood that must be a phenomena of Bible code in the Torah, and he found many interesting ones. I'm sure you know about it. If not, you can see in the internet, but a lot of them, and being a genius, when he was really, I think, running away from Germany. The Holocaust is a known story. Here in the bunker, without a computer, he managed to do all these things. So, no doubt, very, very interesting, and very important to know that Bible code have a lot of secrets there, even scientific things comes there. If you realize the pi it's all, there's a part 3.14, so much behind, in Gematria and scientifically and all work amazingly. So interesting and important knowledge to know about the Bible called the first one, which really brought to all the others.